Welcome to Nurses with Voices, the podcast where we amplify the voices of nurses everywhere. I'm your host, Dr. Lendra James, DNP-RN, and I am thrilled to go on this podcast journey with you. As a nurse with over 20-something years of experience, I've witnessed the dedication, resilience, and passion that defines our profession. Through this podcast, we aim to educate, empower, and inspire nurses at every stage of their careers. Whether you're a novice nurse navigating the challenges of bedside care, an experienced clinician looking to advance in your field, or dreaming of becoming a nurse entrepreneur, Nurses with Voices is here for you. Join me as we delve into topics such as advancing in nursing, mastering leadership skills, and fostering a supportive community within our profession. Together, we'll explore the triumphs, struggles, and countless opportunities that come with being a nurse. So tune in, subscribe, and let your voice be heard, because here at Nurses with Voices, every nurse has a story worth sharing, and every nurse voice deserves to be amplified. Welcome back to another episode of Nurses with Voices. I'm your host, Dr. Lendra James, DNP-RN. And in today's episode, we are talking about, before I even get there, let me say it's Nursing Appreciation Week. So I want to say Happy Nurses Week to all of my hardworking nurses, my hardworking nurse leaders, nurse business owners. In honor of Nurses Appreciation Week, we're going to really dive into nursing empowerment strategies. Today's episode is all about offering tips and guidance for nurses who are looking to strategically transition away from the bedside. So today I'm conducting, a workshop, right? I want to call it a workshop, because I want to offer you advice and strategies, I should say, that in the end, my hope is that your takeaway is that these strategies and these tips will help you to navigate your career transition. Over the last couple of weeks, we've talked about trends in nursing or trends in healthcare, I should say, and how these trends ultimately affect and have implications for nursing. And a lot of these implications lead to overwhelm and burnout. And, I want nurses consistently, highlight the importance of feeling respected, and they're not always finding that at the bedside. And as we recognize Nursing Appreciation Week, we want to thank all of the organizations who are thanking nurses for all of the hard work that they do, and let's continue that. Let's continue that appreciation for weeks to come, for months to come, because more and more nurses are transitioning away from the bedside. And, one of the reasons is because they don't feel appreciated. And so let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about how to transition from the bedside and how do you do it strategically. And I want to review a few strategies with you to help you transition in a succinct manner, right? That doesn't leave you feeling like you made a mistake or that you have to go back to the bedside. And if you do go back to the bedside, you're going back because you have an objective or a goal, right? Not because you have no other choice, because in that case, you just become miserable and no one wants that. So the first strategy I want to talk about, and it's a common one, right? And it's pursuing higher education. And we'll start there. Now, and we're starting there. You may have some people who may feel, well, you don't need a degree to navigate it from the bedside to start your own business. Well, we're not just talking about starting your own business, right? We're talking about navigating away from the bedside. So that can be a few different variables, right? One powerful way to transition from the bedside is pursuing higher education, whether it's obtaining an advanced degree or pursuing specialized certifications. Furthering your education can really open doors to a variety of career opportunities outside of direct patient care. So let's unpack that. And let's discuss the benefits, right, of advanced education. And let's take a look at different educational paths. And I want to give you some tips of balancing work and educational commitments. You might be asking, what are the benefits of advanced education? Now, there's some obvious ones, right? But then there's some that, when you consider advanced education, such as obtaining your master's degree or your doctorate in nursing, these degrees can really open opportunities for career advancements. And with higher level of education, nurses may qualify for leadership positions, specialized roles, advanced practice roles, and really allowing them to take on more responsibility and have more influence within the healthcare organizations or just in healthcare as a whole. Advanced education, can equip nurses with specialized knowledge and skills in areas like for clinical practice, right? Areas of research, education, healthcare administration, right? So this expanded scope of practice really enables nurses to make greater contributions to patient care. It helps them make greater contributions to, have innovative ideas, to policy developments within education and, within healthcare systems. And then you have, income earning potential. With advanced education often comes increased earning potential, right? So nurses with advanced degrees or certifications typically command higher salaries than those who have basic qualifications, right? Additionally, you have advanced practice nurses, such as nurse practitioners or nurse anesthetists, and they actually have they're like among the highest paid nurses in the field, and I'm talking nurse anesthetists, right? So nurse anesthetists are some of the highest paid nurses in the field, and you may be saying, well, nurse practitioners don't make don't make as much as I can make more as a bedside nurse than I do as a nurse practitioner. Okay, now there's caveats to that, right? And it depends on where you're working. It depends on where you are. It depends on where you're working, what you're doing with your NP degree, because there's some nurses who can make like in the mid six figures as a nurse practitioner. And so it really depends on where you are in the country. It depends on where you are as far as, organizations. Because yeah, in some cases, nurse practitioners can make as much as a bedside nurse. But guess what? What's the difference? They're not working at the bedside. So you have to think about it in those aspects. And, when you're pursuing advanced education, it can really be a transformative experience that fosters your personal and your professional development. And because it challenges nurses to expand their knowledge and really develop critical thinking skills and embrace the lifelong learning. Additionally, advanced education can boost confidence and self-esteem, right? Empowering nurses to pursue their careers with purpose and passion. Right. So there's different educational career paths. So you have your master's degrees. Nurses can pursue masters of science in nursing, and they can have various specializations. They could be nurse practitioners, they could be nurse educators, they could be nurse administrators, they could be nurse informaticists. Then you have your doctoral degrees, right? So you have your doctor of nursing practice, or you have your doctor of philosophy, right? Which your PhD. And these degrees, it have advanced knowledge, right, and expertise in clinical practice, research, education, leadership. And then you have your specialty certifications, right? So you can obtain specialty certifications in areas like wound care or critical care, oncology, psychiatric nursing, to really enhance your skills and your qualifications in specific areas. And then you have continuing education, right? So nurses can participate in continuing education programs. You can participate in workshops, seminars, conferences, and all these things are really to stay up to date on the latest advancements in nursing practice and like technologies and research. Now, you may be asking, what are some tips, right, for balancing work and education commitments? I often hear, that I don't have time for school, or everything is I can't. Well, how about trying these tips, right? To be able to balance work and education? Create a schedule, right? Develop a realistic schedule that really allocates dedicated time for work, for study, and for personal commitments. And prioritize those tasks, right? Prioritize the tasks and set specific goals to stay focused and organized. And utilize time management techniques. Use time management techniques like prioritization, task batching, batching your tasks. Was something that we used to say, cluster your care, right? Same thing with your time, batch your time, or use the Pomodoro technique, right, to maximize productivity and efficiency. Have you ever heard of that? So that's when, and I'm just giving you the very simplified answer to it. It's basically when you break up your time in like 25-minute segments and then you take 5-minute breaks in between. You have to come up with different techniques to be able to really utilize your time management effectively. And communicate with your employers, right? So communication and open communication with your employer about your educational growth is key, and it's something that it's imperative, because you want to be able, there's potential accommodation there, right? There may be flexible work arrangements to support your academic growth. There may be tuition reimbursement that you can take advantage of. These are things that you want to definitely communicate with your employer if you're going back to school, because they may be able to assist you, right? You don't have to do this alone. You want to seek support from from friends, from family, from colleagues, from mentors, right? Because you're going to need encouragement throughout the process. And consider joining study groups or online communities for additional motivation and accountability. And the fifth one I'm going to say, and this is probably one of the most important ones, is taking care of yourself. You have to prioritize self-care and well-being to really be able to maintain physical and mental health during times of stress. And, going back to school for continuing education can really be a stressful time. So you really want to be able to take time for yourself, practice relaxation techniques, exercise, and, sleep is huge, make sure you're getting nutritional support. And these things are really going to support your overall wellness. By pursuing advanced education, nurses can unlock a world of opportunities for career growth and personal development, professional fulfillment. And with careful planning and dedication and perseverance, balancing work, educational commitments, it's achievable. It really is achievable, and it's really going to be paving the way for a bright and promising future for your nursing career. The second strategy I want to discuss is exploring nursing specialties, right? And nursing offers a wide range of specialties beyond the traditional bedside setting. And you may or may not have heard this before, but it's true. From case management, nursing informatics, research, healthcare administration, and even nurse entrepreneurship. Right. There are numerous avenues for nurses to explore based on their interests, right, and their skills. Again, let's unpack them, right? Let's discuss how to identify your strengths, how to identify your passions, and how do you research different nursing specialties and take steps towards transitioning into a new role. Well, you nurses can engage in self-reflection, right? To identify your strengths and passion and areas of interest within the nursing profession by, reflecting on past experiences, right? Look at your successes. What were your challenges? These things will help you uncover patterns and themes that really resonate with your personal and professional values. And then they have assessment tools. You have assessment tools like the Strength Finders or your Myers-Briggs type indicators. You have your Holland Code assessments. These tools really help you to gain insight on your strengths and your personality traits and your preferred work environments. So these assessments can provide valuable guidance in aligning your strengths and your passions with potential career paths. And the third thing you want to do is you want to look at feedback and evaluations, right? And you want to look at that feedback from your colleagues, from your mentors, from supervisors, because it really helps you to gain a perspective on your strengths and your areas for development. Review your performance evaluations from previous years. Do peer review exercises. Informal conversations are sometimes probably one of the best, because it can really offer valuable insight into your unique talents and your unique capabilities. And then you want to research different nursing specialties. You can explore like online resources like nursing specialty websites, professional organizations, healthcare forums to learn more about different nursing specialties and their requirements. For instance, you may be interested in nurse entrepreneurship, right? And maybe you want to launch an IV hydration business or a healthcare consulting business, or maybe you're interested in legal nurse consulting. There are online resources and groups for these specialty areas. But you have to network. You have to network and connect with nurses working in various specialty areas through professional networking groups, right? Networking events at conferences or social media platforms. And engage in informational interviews or shadowing experiences to gain firsthand insights into different nursing roles and environments. And see if there are any professional development opportunities. Take advantage of those professional development opportunities, like the workshops and the seminars and the webinars focused on the specialty that you're interested in. And these events can provide valuable information for networking opportunities to explore your career path. And something I find with nurses, we don't always want to, if we're not getting reimbursed for it or we have to pay for it, we may not, go out and, seek this information. And why not? You have to be able to be willing to invest in yourself, whether it's a $10 class or workshop, whether it's a $200 workshop. Sometimes we don't want to make that investment in ourselves. And what happens is we lose out. So if your organization, provides reimbursement for it, take advantage of it. But if it doesn't mean that that's not a workshop or something that you can attend, because it might change your entire career path and you want to take advantage of that. Now, you may ask yourself, what are some steps towards transitioning into a new role? Number one, continuing education, right? You want to consider enrolling in courses and workshops and certification programs to really enhance your knowledge and your skills in preparation for the transition. So if it's wound care, make sure you're attending wound care workshops, right? That's a specialty within itself. So, same thing with oncology. Maybe you want to start, looking at oncology books or attending those forums, getting those certifications. In the process, seek mentorship and guidance, right? And if you've followed me at all, if you've heard me in the past, you know that mentorship is something that I am just such a huge advocate for because, mentorship is something that, we need as nurses. And nurses who are currently working in your desired specialty are the best person to be able to give you advice and feedback and support to help you navigate the transition process, right? So that way you can really explore your new career opportunity. And it's just such a beautiful thing to have a mentor. Another thing you want to consider is, gaining clinical experience, right, in your desired specialty through volunteer work, part-time positions, per diem positions. Hands-on experience will not only enhance your skills, but it will also demonstrate your commitment and your readiness for the new role. There was a nurse, and I saw on social media, she actually has a wellness business, and she wanted to incorporate weight loss into her services. And what's something that she did? She got a per diem position with a weight management clinic, right? So these are things that you can do, inside of nursing. When I say nursing, the traditional setting, and outside, when you look at nurse entrepreneurship, there's always ways that you can do it, but it's all relevant. So I hope you are, really reading between the lines of what I'm saying here, and seeing the relevance, I should say, of, what I'm trying to point out to you, how a lot of these strategies are applicable to the traditional setting, and is also applicable to you in the nurse entrepreneur world as well. You want to, and updating your portfolio, right? Update your portfolio to highlight relevant experience and skills and accomplishments related to your desired specialty, right? And network with the professionals in that field. Attend those networking events and leverage the online platforms like LinkedIn to connect with potential employers and colleagues. So you'll hear me talk about networking a lot, and that's actually going to lead me to my next strategy that I'm going to give you, the third strategy, and it's networking and mentorship. So we're going to dive a little deeper into what networking and what mentorship, what it means and what it can look like, because they're invaluable tools, for especially for career advancement and transition. Building connections within and outside of the healthcare industry can really provide valuable insights, opportunities, and support as you navigate your career transition. So I want to discuss these strategies. I want to discuss the strategies for networking effectively and finding a mentor and leveraging professional organizations and online communities to really expand your network. You have to make sure that you're taking time to participate in professional networking events, such as, I mentioned conferences before, seminars, the workshops, whatever your industry specific meetup is. You want to make sure that you're attending these meetups, right? These events are opportunities to connect with professionals in the field and really expand your network. For example, there are a few upcoming DNP of color networking events. And if you're a DNP of color, whether you're an aspiring DNP, whether you're a DNP student, these are events you should plan on attending. Join professional organizations, right? Relevant to your industry and your career goals. Memberships and associations, not only provides access to networking events, but it also offers valuable resources, and educational opportunities and industry insights, I should say. I gave the example of DNP of Colors before, but I'm also a business owner, right? So I'm also a member of the Business Owner Trade Alliance, which offers networking opportunities, right? The point is, you want to be in the room. You want to be in the room where your industry is or where your career goals are aligned. You also want to leverage social media platforms like LinkedIn and Facebook. These platforms can really help you connect with professionals in your field and join industry specific groups, like once again, and communities so that you can start engaging in discussions and in networking opportunities. You'll gain networking opportunities online. Volunteer for committees. Is there a task force that's being created or an advisory board that's being created within professional organizations or community groups? Serving in leadership roles or volunteering for projects can really enhance your visibility and your credibility and your networking opportunities. Join, if you're an entrepreneur, small business owner, join your local chamber of commerce, right? Or if you're a nurse in nursing leadership or looking to advance, join American Nurses Association. I'm a member of the Sigma Theta Tau International Honor Society. This is a global organization, but I'm joining groups and serving, in memberships where they're aligned with what my industry goals are, right? So these are the things that you want to do. And to top it all off, you want to find a mentor. So not only do you want to be associated in these mentorship groups, you want to find a mentor. Identify individuals within the field or the industry who possess the knowledge and experience and the qualities that you admire. And, see how you feel about them. What is your, intuition about them? Do you align with what their vision are? Do you share their insights? Are they willing to offer you guidance, provide support to you as you navigate your career? Now, I have to say, you do have to be very, very, very careful with these mentors. There are some mentors out there who are, I hate to say it, but I'm going to say this. You have to be the one to choose who your mentor is going to be. You have to be the one. Don't let them choose you. You choose them, right? You know what your unique qualities are. You know what your career path is. Don't let someone convince you otherwise. If this isn't, everyone's not the mentor for everyone. I offer a mentorship program. I'm not the mentor for everyone. right? So you want to find someone who's aligning with your goals, with your experience, with your expertise. One of our mentorship programs, we teach nurses how to start their own healthcare consulting business. Now, that healthcare consulting business can be a concierge business, it can be a legal nurse consulting business, but what are you bringing to the table, right? You have to ask yourself, do I align with what you're asking for, what you're looking for? What are your goals? Does my mission statement for my business, does that align with what you're looking for? So, do I have the qualities that you're looking for in a mentor? You have to decide what these things are. Right. One of the programs that we offer in our nurse program is we offer novice nurses and novice nurse leaders in particular. We offer them mentorship and guidance because you know why? I never had mentorship when I stepped into the leadership role. A lot of it was, what's the saying that we say in nursing, baptism by fire, right? So a lot of it was learn on the go. So I like to be able to provide that mentorship to a novice nurse or to a novice nurse leader, because you know what? If a lot of times in nursing is sink or swim and you get into these roles, and if you don't have that guidance or that support, you'll fail. And you don't want to fail, or you may not fail. You may do extremely well, but look at all of everything that you had to go through, I should say, in order to do well. So mentorship is very important, and finding a mentor that really align with what your goals are and what your expertise and what your mission is super important. And, you can reach out to potential mentors through professional networking events, mutual connections, social media platforms, and express your admiration for them. Express your admiration in the work that they're doing, and inquire about the possibilities of establishing a mentorship relationship. And approach the potential mentor, I should say, sincerely, right? With sincerity, with humility, and with respect, right? And be clear on your goals, be clear on what your expectations are and what your reasons are for seeking the mentorship, and demonstrate your commitment to learning and growth. And why that's important is because a lot of times, sometimes, people want to just, especially when it comes to starting the consulting businesses, people want to just go through it quickly without really understanding, like, there's a mindset shift that needs to occur when you're transitioning from the bedside, and from the traditional setting of healthcare or of nursing to the business world or into any setting. So when you're transitioning from whether you're transitioning from the bedside to nursing leadership or from nursing leadership to entrepreneurship, there's a mindset shift that needs to occur, because as a bedside nurse, it's no longer just about your 4 or 5 patients, right? Now, as a nurse leader, you have, leadership over an entire unit, or maybe you have leadership over several different units, right? The same thing as a business owner. There's a mindset shift that needs to occur when you're stepping out of the traditional setting. You're used to going to meetings and answering to someone. Even though you may be a boss, you still have to answer to someone. Now, as you're going to entrepreneurship, now you're your own boss. So you're it. Right. So you're the one doing the delegating. You're the one you have control over. So there's a mindset shift that needs to occur. And we can't blame our mentor. We have to ask ourselves, what are we willing to commit to? What part of this growth, this learning and this growth and this mentorship am I willing to commit to? We have to ask ourselves that. And then we have to be receptive to feedback. We have to be receptive to feedback, to constructive criticism, and guidance from your mentor. Your mentor is able to tell you things because they've been through it, right? So, and they're trying to prevent you from making the pitfalls that, or hitting the pitfalls that they did. So actively seeking opportunities to learn and grow and improve and demonstrate your willingness to implement the feedback and the advice into your professional development is very important. You get out of your mentorship program what you put into it. So if you have more excuses than production, then again, there's a mindset shift that needs to occur. So think about this. When you're transitioning from the bedside, you have to really start shifting your mind to having a different understanding. And there's mindset coaches out there as well, because maybe you really need to start digging deep to really think about what it is and consider what it is you want to do. One of the last things that I want to talk about is really leveraging your professional organizations and your online communities. And I know I mentioned this before, but joining these professional organizations relevant to your industry, they really can really help and offer those networking events, those educational resources, job opportunities, and professional development opportunities. So that's why it's important, right? So joining these online communities or forums, can help you with discussing group related, to your field or to the industry that you're interested in transitioning to. And make sure that you're engaging in those conversations, you're asking questions, you're sharing your own insights, and that you're building these relationships in that professional field, because that's how people are going to know that you're there, right? And take advantage of those webinars, take advantage of those virtual conferences, take advantage of those online workshops. You see free master classes all the time. Attend one of them, right? Doesn't mean you have to join anything, but just attend to see what's going on outside of the traditional setting, because that's where we really need to start. We have to be a part of something so that we'll know something outside of the traditional world. And I was talking with someone earlier, and they made a great point, and they were telling me that one of their professors years ago mentioned that, what's wrong with nursing? Nurses don't do anything outside. They don't know anything outside of the bedside. Now, I'm not sure how he meant that, or if he was offensively, or if he was just trying to let nurses have an epiphany. But you can't take that. I take that as a constructive criticism. And to be honest with you, I don't disagree with him. In nursing school, we're taught how to take care of patients. We're taught the traditional setting of nursing. We're taught nursing home care. We're taught hospital care. No one teaches us about entrepreneurship, and no one teaches us anything outside of the traditional setting. So you can navigate and transition away from the bedside, but you just have to have a strategy, right? And a part of that strategy is networking, finding mentors, leveraging your professional organizations and your online communities. You could really expand your network. You can gain valuable insights and support and really advance your careers, and meet your career goals. You want to build and nurture your professional relationships. And that's going to be key in success in any field, right? You can really benefit greatly from proactive networking and mentorship opportunities. And I'm going to end this with transitioning from the bedside is a significant career decision, but with careful planning and strategic empowerment, nurses can really successfully navigate this transition and explore new opportunities for professional growth and fulfillment. Remember, your nursing journey is unique to you. Right. And there are countless possibilities waiting to be explored beyond the bedside. So that's it for today. And I just want you guys to know, if you are interested in mentorship and guidance at the level of, like I said, whether you're a novice nurse leader, whether you're looking to start your own healthcare consulting business, or maybe you need help with, passing the nurse exec examination, we're here for you. We have DL James Consulting. That's dljamesconsulting.com. And you can head right over and look at our website and book a strategy call, and we would be happy to discuss what your career objectives are and really help you walk through that. So I want you to join us next time for more empowering discussions on Nurses with Voices. Until next time, make sure you guys stay empowered, stay educated, and stay inspired. And again, happy Nurses Week, everyone.